So I want to tell you that I screwed up the lyrics in one little section, but you would never know it because I'm a good lyricist. I write on the moment. But it was my favorite lyric in the whole song. Kevin's singing. I could tell Kevin's like, where's that lyric that we both love? And the lyric is, before I go where I'm going, I got to take some time just to be, unravel all the threads other people have been sewing, and create my own tapestry. I don't know what I sang, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it was. Yeah. No, I don't want to do it again. So I have to honor my daughter Nora here for a moment, if you don't mind, because ultimately we were going to be writing this show for her and Delaney. There are two girls at the center of this, both like 20-year-old softball players. I did think you were all going to laugh when I made the baseball reference, thinking, what does he know about baseball? But you didn't, thank you. So we wrote this song. This would have been Nora's I Want song. And the day of Nora's accident, she and I had a very long talk. And she wasn't particularly happy with some of the things in her life. She was not happy being in the school she was in. She had other things she wanted to do. She said she wasn't finding herself in this space. And she wanted to maybe take a year off and just audition for things and build her career. And we had a great conversation about it. So as we were sitting down to write the musical, of course all of that's going on in my mind, and I inadvertently had been writing the play with her still in mind. And at one point, Kevin said to us, he came in and listened to a song, and he said, where's the I Want song? You need an I Want song. And we knew that. We just hadn't gotten to the I Want scene yet. So when we got to the I Want scene, this song came. I went into Nora's room, picked up her Rose guitar, and just started playing and wrote this. This whole song came out of me as though it had been channeled through me, probably by Abraham. And Where is Eric Bort? There you are. Just wanted to connect as we said that. No, probably through Nora. So it just, the whole thing, same thing, it's all one mind. The whole song just came out of me. But the lyrics, it was very difficult. When I went back out and played the song for Scott, played it, and then we rewrote a lot of it because we always rewrite together. When I went out and played it for him, when I finished it, he was crying, then I started crying, and I was like, this is as if Nora had written this that night sitting talking to me, saying, before I go where everybody thinks I should go, I need to find me first. I can't just live a life based on what everybody else thinks is right for me. I have to be willing to find out who I am before I can take that who into what I do. And if that means not following a trajectory of 8 years of grade school, 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, move to New York and become an actress, or stay in LA, whichever. It's not everybody's path. And it's not easy for parents to hear that or to agree to that as if it's even my choice to agree to. But really, I have learned so much, so much. And when the song came through and we were doing Focus Month, I realized I wanted to end the month with that song. And then I ended up getting this, I've had a very emotional week, and through the emotions of the week, I ended up getting this kind of congestion, sinusitis type thing. So I'd already called Barbara. She prepared an entirely different song today for me, because I said, I can't sing this, I can't sing it. And when I woke up this morning, I just checked my voice and went, oh, I could sing it. And then Kevin was at Starbucks, and I know many of you know this number we have, Nora. I used to kiss Nora 5 times every night. So our number was a 5. So Kevin ran out to get gas, and you know how you just put the gas thing in and then it stops when your gas is full? His gas cost $55.55. 4 5s. And he texted me that, and I went, all right, fine, I'll sing it. So, now, the title of my talk today is The Divine Design. So, lest you think that you're planning your life, I want to disabuse you of the notion that you have to work hard at it. Because you are planning your life. But if you were willing and if you allowed the universal divine design of life to take you and mold you, to live through you, to point you in directions, to speak to you, life would be so much simpler, don't you think? Wouldn't it be simpler, Luke? Where'd you go, Luke? Oh, you're right there. I'm looking back to the Shinnerers. It would be so much simpler. So I want to do a brief little recap of this month that we had. The first week I gave you a quote from Anais Nin. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. The frame we put around our life might not be the truth. We see them as we are. All of your life, you have built yourself, you have designed yourself to be the person you are today. Marilyn Taylor is who she is today because she has designed her life up to this point. Right, Marilyn? Right. Choices, decisions, some regrets. Any regrets? Yeah. Regrets? Any failures? No. No failures. No. Usually, years ago, I might have said, Marilyn, you've had no failures, but I get it now. Because you get a certain point in life and you realize you have had no failures. You've just had choices that took you to the next choice. How it worked out, that's relative on the plane of life. So all of this stuff that brought you to here, yes, you have been a part of creating, and you have molded it and pointed it in the right direction, or in whatever direction, but there's something else inside of you that is always moving you to your highest and best. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Who has a problem with that? Raise your hand. I'm not going to get back to you. All right, well, for the one person who raised her hand, I want to say that I think most people don't believe it 100%, because if they did, life would have a different look. If we believed 100% that there was something in me, moving me, growing me, living me, that always had my back and always knew the right place to take me, life would seem a lot simpler, and my life would literally explode in all directions. So that was how we started this month. Then I told you the quote Mark Twain, "You can't depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus." That conversation I had with Nora really showed me that day that she felt stunted. She felt like her imagination was literally being squelched by all the things she was asked to do, or told she should do, or the formula we all thought was perfect for her. Now, in truth, that conversation ended, and about an hour later, she was gone. I have been spending 4 months, it's been 4 months now, really questioning, where's the spiritual logic in this? A conversation of, I'm not sure this is what I want to be doing, to she's moved on to another dimension, to another place. Well, impersonally, if I could do it, I could step back and say, well, it made perfect sense. We think about this life as this most important, this is the only place, this is what it's all about. And yet, there is a universal, infinite scope of life that is just waiting for us all. Let's face it, we're all going there at some point. Madeline just went there over the weekend. Who's to say that's not the huge place that she needed to go to next? Well, you know what? It's where she went. So I have to trust and know that the divine design of life always takes us where we need to go. And I think she really was tired of allowing everybody to thread her tapestry. And she was just over it, you know? And as I prepared this whole month, part of why I picked focus was because I knew I had to take my focus off of all of the pain and suffering and grief, still feel it, but put it on something more constructive. What's more constructive than trying to understand what this life is all about and who I am in it, which is what this song is all about. Before the last line of the song, before I go where I'm going, is really meant to be before I die. So before I go where I'm going, at least I'm going to find out what it means to be me. Not how to make a gazillion dollars before I die. Not how to be the most successful person on the planet. Just, I'm going to find out what it means to be me. And that means I'm going to find out what it means to be God. What does that feel like, to really, really be God? So the question I asked you on week 2 was, what are you willing to focus on? And Luke just did a brilliant example of that. Do you want to focus on the F, or do you want to focus on cracking? Do you want to focus on the things you want in life, or do you want to focus on all the reasons everyone's going to tell you you can't have them? Most of us have mixed messages going on all over the place. Mixed messages is when we go, here's what I want. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I'm so good at this, except they don't like me. Anybody else live that life? Yeah. You wake up and you're like, today's going to be a great day. Someone looks funny and you're like, oh no, it's a terrible day. Which one are you going to listen to? Which one are you going to focus on? Where are you going to really put your focus? And then I told you the story about Dr. Walker. What do you require in your coffee? What's funny is that, of course, now I know I require cappuccino, not coffee. Truly. In fact, if I go to a restaurant and they say they don't have cappuccino, they say, but we have really great coffee. I'm like, nope, I need the foam. I need that foam on the top and the milk in the middle. I require that. Coffee doesn't work for me without Kappa in front of it. Kappa coffee. So as we close this month out, I want to tell you something. There is a direct connection between what you require in life and what you focus on in life. There is a direct connection between what you require, what you desire, what you ascribe to in life, and what you focus on in life. And here's how direct it is. Whatever you focus on in life, you are going to experience. Period, end of sentence. If you're going to focus on life being a difficult journey, welcome to your difficult life. If you're going to focus on life being a land of opportunity, welcome to the many opportunities you're going to have. I love what Luke said when he said, I really kind of focus on all of it. And I get that, because a young mind, 18, right? 17? 15. Well, it's the highest I've ever looked up on this stage. So I just assumed you were older. So 15. Unbelievable that you are 15. That's like Karen Oxrider's niece. Karen, are you here? Your niece last week, she was 14. This girl in the front row, and I thought she was 20. 14. So, getting back to Luke, the scope of I'm focusing on everything. You know why? Because a young mind, unencumbered by the negativity, although I know you said you have some, the negativity of what can't happen in life has the opportunity to literally see all of it. And I love that he said, but then I know I have to go, and this is the one I'm going to focus on right now. I would like to suggest to all of us that we get back to that mindset of knowing that everything is possible still. That the scope of infinite possibilities is wide open for every single one of us. I don't care if you are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, or, do we have 90s in the row? Joe Jordan. 90. She loves when I let you all know she's 90. 91 now, right? 91. In May, 91. You're still a sprite 90. Yes. So it doesn't matter. Joe Jordan has the entire plethora of, and you still do. You're like the Betty White of our congregation. No, she's still out there shooting commercials and doing television, and yeah. So where's your Betty White? And I mean that. This woman, Betty White's an amazing woman. Just career after career after career after career. So first we have to decide, get back to that understanding that it's all possible. Infinite possibility. Then we have to focus on what it is we want. I think we focus most of the time on the limitations of our lives. Anybody feel that way? You focus on the limitations. As you get older, people focus on the limitations of their bodies. Have you noticed that? Anybody? I was at the chiropractor, and my chiropractor said to me, Something to the effect of, your body really works well, especially considering you're about to be 65. And I thought to myself, and he's an amazing chiropractor, and as I was driving home, I thought, why especially since I'm going to be 65? And then the next day, I'm stretching on my mat, the rug in my bedroom, and I like to wake up, open the windows, and just stretch on the floor. And I went to get up, and it took a minute. It did. I had stretched something a little out, and it took a minute, and I went, well, it's not bad still for 65. And I went, talk about race mind just coming in and taking over. How many of you have race mind running your mind? It's the way it works, right? But not for us. Because if you choose to focus on what it is you really want, everything will change. Jack Canfield said this: successful people maintain a positive focus in life no matter what is going on around them. They stand focused on their past successes rather than their past failures, and on the next action steps they need to take to get them closer to the fulfillment of their goals rather than all the distractions that life presents to them. How many of us get so caught up in the distractions, or how many of us create distractions so that we don't have to do this thing called forward momentum, this thing called, or I say this is what I want to do, but I can do all of this instead. Anybody? Yeah. It's all about focus. What do you want to focus on? Now, here's the good thing. You can focus on the idea that you do that. Think about this. You can focus on the very idea that you're someone who puts distractions in the way of doing what you want to do. Well, like you said, you can pick out all these other things to do and not be doing the thing you want to be doing, or taking 2-hour showers to spend whatever time you want. So, for us, it's about, can you take your mind and focus it on what you want to create? And that means if you are someone who procrastinates, Eric? Who procrastinates here? Eric Overholtzer did a monologue once about procrastination. It was very funny. I'm sure it was about someone else. So if you what? It is? If you procrastinate, you could put your focus on procrastination to see what it's all about. Find out, why do you procrastinate? Why is it that you have never done that thing you said you were going to do? When I wrote my show, Sissy Boy, I had been writing that for 10 years. Now, it was good because a lot happened that I could add into it, but for 10 years. And it wasn't until Kevin put it up as an auction item at a gala that everyone could buy tickets to the first reading of Sissy Boy that August. The gala was in May. And someone said, I got tickets to your show. And I was like, what show? They said, Sissy Boy. I went, oh, I haven't even written it yet. She goes, it's in August. I was like, Kevin? And Kevin said, some catalyst has to happen for you to write this. And I said, well, I'm not writing. He said, well, tell 100 people. They've all signed up. So I had some impetus to write this 2-hour show, and I did it in August. And then it moved on. So what's your catalyst? Not all of you can't have Kevin. Well, for a price. No. Oh my God, there's a gala item for the fundraiser. You know, they say if you watch a talk that you give, you can see where you took the curve. That was just it. So, I'm going to get back to the divine design because I want to read you this. In Plato's Dialogues, he says there is a divine design where every person is designed for a task that no one else can accomplish, a path that no one else can take. That would say to me that you are intrinsically important in the divine design of life. Every single one of us, no one less or more. So if there is some task that is yours. Now, Thomas Troward will tell you your task is to enjoy life. But I think if we go from Plato to Troward to Ernest Holmes to where we are today, you'll see if Plato says there's a divine task that's inherent in you for you to live, and Troward comes along and says, yeah, that's joy. Find your joy in life. And if you really find your joy in life, you find the task. They're intrinsically linked. And then Ernest Holmes comes along and says, it is about finding your joy in life, but it's about recognizing that you are that joy. So now we've gone from Plato from Pluto in Disney series, from Plato to Troward, from the task to finding it inherently, to knowing that it is joy, to Ernest Holmes saying, this is what our job is, to live our joy unabashedly, to know what it is and to live it. And so where we are today is unraveling the threads everyone else has been sewing and creating our own tapestries. You see why it was important for me to tell you that lyric? Because I'm going to have to tell you, in terms of focus, I think we have been spending an awful lot of time focusing on other people's designs for us. Other people's designs that say, here's where you go when you're a religious scientist. Here's where you go when you're a Catholic. Here's where you go when you're a straight heterosexual male. Here's where you go when you're a homosexual. So many boxes, so many labels. Why do you think the kids, the generation that's come along now, has come up with so many names, I can't keep track of them, for their sexuality, for their fluidity, for who they know themselves to be. So many different ideas. It's because they don't want to be boxed in. And I'll take myself right back to the top of the talk. That's what Nora was begging me to understand. And I did, because when we finished the conversation, I said, you know what? Whatever you decide, your father and I will back. But you need to decide it, because I get it. What I think is right may not be right for you. And guess what? What you think is right may just be designed by people and ideas that are not your own. So this whole month was about our willingness to focus on who we are. Are we the people that we've decided to be, or are we the natural progression of an evolution that's brought us here? Well, either way, we're in a perfect place. If the evolution has brought me here, now I know it. Now I can decide, where do I want to go? Because Plato is right. You are unique. You are so individualistically ready to bring something new to this planet, to bring something fresh and alive, something exciting and passionate, something that provides joy for everyone else to take part in, something that makes you so different from any person on this planet. Our job is to just push the rest of the crap out of the way and stand firmly in the, I know who I am, remember who I am. As the very essence of God, everything is possible. Everything is possible. Now I just need to point and click and watch it show up on the screen of my life. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.